Things just got worse and worse and worse as the night went on. Again, valiant effort down the stretch for the Bucs. Just too little, too late. Let's go down and let's see what Coach Fletch and the rest of the crew has to say. And as always, go Bulls. So let's head into the locker room right now and see what the guys have to say about that one. Wow. Where do the Buccaneers go from here? What an incredible atmosphere. What a good win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They snapped a 7-game winning streak. How we feeling, Bucs Nation? It's time to party, baby.
So in the words of WWE champion Cody Rhodes, so what do you want to talk about? I think I know exactly what everybody wants to talk about today. That thrilling 20-19 victory for the Buccaneers over the Texans in Houston last night. Monday Night Football, and in honor of our Tampa Bay Buccaneers and in honor of when this organization started, we are doing the show for 76 minutes today, an hour and 16 minutes of straight Buccaneers talk. That huge win to put them at 2-0 on the season. Oh, they can't win primetime games? So what? What an incredible performance. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a Picasso. And we're going to touch on a little bit of everything on the program. First, we want to shout out our guy, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, 813-244-0956. Scan that QR code. They take care of all your residential commercial needs. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Recher podcast and get a discount when you get some work done with them. I love you all. I love you all. You guys are the best. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Listen, we have so many great people that listen to the show today. And I love that it's like from all over the country, all over the world, and for every profession. We've got people that are working in the back of a UPS truck, right? We've got people working from home. We got people that are working on eyelashes. We got people that are working everywhere around the country tuning into the Recher podcast today, right here on the program. And we're talking about a Buccaneers victory. It is a Victory Tuesday. The first comment coming from our guys, Port Richie Lou, back at 3:20 a.m. I don't know how he got this. My man, Port Richie Lou, is the man. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen. And if you want to join in all day long, here is the link right here at the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. StreamYard.com/QA645YE7. I'm going to say QA645YE7. Yeah. I like that one. Yi and Ya. It's a beautiful thing. I want to hear from you guys. No guests today. No other sports. No BS. It's all Bucs all day for everybody, whether you're here in the Tampa Bay area or abroad. You could be anywhere from Portland, Oregon to Clayton, North Carolina to Augusta, Maine to Austin, Texas. Listen to the program today. I love you all. Not many bigger Buccaneer fans than Port Richie Lou. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. He is the best, one of the best human beings around. A Victory Tuesday is right for Benny in the house. Janet Best, great win and play by Baker. I bet he's sore today. That dude's amazing. He really is. He puts his body on the line for the team. You can't ask for anything more from your quarterback. This dude just leads by example. He's such a joy to watch. And listen, the thing is about this Buccaneers team, especially like watching that game last night, right? The Buccaneers are a fun team to watch. And when you watch the game and you see how they handle success, and you watch some of the videos from the locker room after, like I said this a lot about the Lightning over the last couple of years, but the Buccaneers make you proud to be a Bucs fan. Like the way that they go about their business, the way that they are just the consummate professionals, they make you proud to be a Bucs fan, proud to live here in the Tampa Bay area. And there was a moment last night, I don't know if many people saw it, but it was somewhere in the fourth quarter, and Levante David kind of just saddled up next to Todd Bowles. And he just started like kind of whispering sweet nothings in his ear. No, but he was just talking to him about the game. And you just don't see that very often. You don't see a lot of players like going up to the coach and just, we're so blessed to have Levante David on this team. And I know we're going to talk about some of the ugly from last night too. And that interception, Todd Bowles even said today, we're going to get on Levante about that all week long. But man, the blitz yesterday, when he come up with the sack, he fakes like he's going to drop into coverage and he blasted CJ Stroud. I'll tell you what, I wasn't too impressed with CJ Stroud yesterday. Were you guys? I mean, watching that game, and I get it, and trust me, is it a byproduct of the offensive line? Very well could be. There was a play yesterday, and we were watching the game over at the Dignitary Cafe. Shout out my guy, Ian Beckles, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. Go check them out, Kava, Kratom, all your fun needs over there. Very 420 friendly as well. We're watching the game, and there was one play where I think it was only like a 3 or 4 man pass rush, and Stroud was like dancing in the pocket. He could have just stepped right up and made a throw, but man, you can tell it's wearing on him because there's opportunities for plays to be made, and the guy just doesn't do it. He just doesn't. I don't know if you can necessarily blame it on him, but I don't like their offense at all. And they have some good players on it. Defensively, I really like their defense, and I like the way they play. And they're a hard-nosed team. They really are. When you watch that Texans, that's a hard-hitting game last night. That's what I loved about that game. I said this to Ian. It was a hard-hitting game, and I don't think it was, dirty at all. Obviously, every Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Baker a ton of talking shit back and forth. That's just natural. But, you just have a bunch of guys on the field that play the game the right way. And there's so many good players on that defense. Petre and Lassiter and Derek Stingley and Anderson and Daniil Hunter and to my God. Those guys were all over the place. They were jacked up. They were fired up. They met the Buccaneers kind of at the apex there. And it was who was going to make the play at the end. And that's exactly what the Buccaneers did. David Terry, even with all the injuries, we pulled it out. Shout out to Josh. Excellent play calling. Baker, White, Bucky, stars of the game. Way to go. Bucs have given opposing fans a heart attack. Bucs have given opposing fans, not opposing fans, us, the supporting fans, heart attack in back-to-back weeks. Finally, other teams are experiencing what we used to. Okay, this is not your father's Buccaneers. Happy. I get what you're saying. Ryan B, go Bucs. Lady Evil took another year. I hear that, buddy. You guys don't know how to speak today. What up, Jay and everyone? Happy Victory Tuesday. Got a little nervous there, but damn, is Baker and company gritty as hell. Jay, question, how was Dignitary Cafe? Pretty quiet on a Monday night. It got louder as it went on, but us in the back room there, we were just kind of chilling. Oh, big thank you to our guy Chan for the super chat. $5. Feel good Tuesday. Coach Bowles, time management goes on. Yeah. I mean, bringing in Beastline has been unbelievable. Zach has done such a great job for him. They looked so good last night. And that's the thing, guys. We're talking about Todd Bowles. He's not too ego-driven where he's not making changes, even this late on into his coaching career. I've become such a big-time Bowles supporter. Is he going to make mistakes? Yeah, but last night I thought was a phenomenal coaching job from Todd Bowles. The defense was incredible, and he's just been able to put guys in a position to succeed. And how about Josh Grizzard? Josh Grizzard was damn good as well. I can only imagine how happy Ian must have been after watching that running game. Yes. Ian and I spoke about this on the show yesterday. Running the ball. Just think about that. We'll get to that in a second, Greg. We're coming back to that. Nathan Elliott, what's up, buddy? Poor Richie Lou is the real GM of the Bucs. Yeah, you got that right. Smash the like button. We got a bunch of people watching right here. Kill that like button wherever you're watching, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter/X right now. Kill that like button if you can. Share this on your social media, man. We're keeping this train going. Hello, all the degenerates out there. Happy Victory Monday/Tuesday. Shout out to Tyke Smith. That man has been our best defensive player so far. You got that right, buddy. Rachaad White, a beast, no doubt. Working in the bucked up office, typing contracts and making things happen while hanging out with Tampa Bay. Jay Recher, you got that right, pal. The punter needs to stop taking 15 steps towards the line before he kicks the ball. I'm starting to get a little nervous about our place kicker. Chris Hall saying the same thing. For the first time in a long time, I'm nervous about our kicking game. It looked like CJ was exiled to the shadow zone. In the shadow realm, he looks sad. You're right. And when he tried to sun Caleb Williams last year, ever since then, he's been trash bags. Tyke Smith, savage. That was one of the more physical. It really was with both teams, too. Yeah, Dolan Tyke Smith was a cannon. He was a cannonball shot out of a cannon. The block punts were driving me crazy. It's a different team than last year. We would have lost that game. Not this year with the killer instinct. Got that right. Baker is a boss. Wish the Bucs had the sense of urgency the Texans defense had. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, I thought they played a really good game. I mean, you think about it, the touchdowns that they gave up to the end with Nick Chubb, I'm pretty sure they gave that up on purpose. I don't know if Todd's going to, but you don't want them to milk the clock and try to kick a field goal. And, Fairbairn's one of the best in the game. You kind of just let them score a touchdown there and you get the ball back with plenty of time. That's exactly what they did. I thought they played that fantastically well. I believe in Todd Bowles. Greg DeCruz, I 100% believe it. And I even said it as I'm sitting there with Ian because it just looked like they were slow. Go back and watch the touchdown run. They were slow getting to the line. They just kind of just played it off a little bit. And as soon as he broke through the hole, I started yelling at the Dignitary Cafe, let him go, let him go, let him go, let him go. And I questioned whether or not the better move would have been to take a knee if you're Nick Chubb, is go down at the 1, make the Buccaneers use their timeouts. So now, instead of, all right, yeah, I know they only need a field goal, but now they won't have any timeouts. Make them use them all, right? Because if you don't, then you run into a situation that you did last night. I mean, you saw it in the Super Bowl a couple years ago with, well, it was years, hell, more than 10 years now, with, who was it? Ahmad Bradshaw went down at the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I think Todd Gurley did it one time too. Chan saying, let's lift up. Mr. Kancey needs all the positivity we can muster, but also we need to draft this competition. He just can't stay healthy. All right. Good stuff there. All right. So looking at that contest from yesterday, right, and just watching that game, I know a lot of you out there are so freaking happy with what happened with the game last night. Now, again, is it perfect? No, it's not going to be. But I want to hear from you guys on who you would give a game ball to for that game last night. Who gets your game ball for that game last night? And I want you guys to be able to comment at the bottom. Questions, comments, concerns, put them there at the bottom. But I also want you to chime in. Come on, we got to get some video calls. Where's my guy, Eric Marino? Where's Robert Cochran? David Terry, I know you've called once. Come on, guys. There's the link right here. StreamYard.com/QA645 yay 7 ya. Get in on the program. Join me here on the Jay Recher podcast. I like these two to start off. Chan is going to go with Rachaad White. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Don't disagree with that at all. Because if you guys remember, before the season, okay, if you've been watching this show, and I've been live since January, right there in the beginning of January. But if you remember in the offseason, nobody else was bringing up the name Rachaad White, but the people right here on this program. Why? Because there was going to be games like last night. We know that Bucky can't do it all himself. And, Bucky runs hard, man. He's not a guy that, evades tackles and he goes out of bounds. Like, he doesn't know how big or small he is. So you got to be able to save him from himself. You need all three guys. You're going to need all three running backs at some point. And if you remember, before the season, I was telling everybody that would listen, keep an eye on Rachaad White. Keep an eye on Rachaad White. I thought he was a sneaky fantasy guy to have on your bench because I know there's going to be games like last night. I thought he was fantastic. I thought that was Rachaad White. And listen, you look at his stat sheet and you go, 9 carries, 63 yards. Oh, excuse me. I got to refresh. Yeah, because we missed that last one. 10 carries for 65 yards and the touchdown to win it. Also, a couple catches in the backfield, but he busts his ass to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. And then one of the biggest plays of the game. Baker running, gets the ball knocked away, and that ball was just, it seemed like that ball was out there forever. And you're just looking and you're going, somebody jump on the ball. And I was hoping that Baker would just kind of like run over and like smack it out of bounds. But here comes Rachaad White going against the grain, goes down, falls on the ball, takes a mean hit. I mean, he got his bell rung. But he made the play. Those are the kind of things. And I know, we look back at like a guy like Cam Newton with the Carolina Panthers and people say, oh, well, he didn't jump on the ball. And he tries to act like it's not that big of a deal. Or some people, and Ian and I have talked about this, maybe it's a little bit overblown. Maybe. But facts are facts. You didn't do it. Baker jumping on that ball. Rachaad White just jumped on that ball. We've seen Chris Godwin do that before. I love what I saw from Rachaad White last night. It can't stop there for Rachaad. He's got to continue to be a part of this offense. Rachaad White gets my game ball. But luckily for me, I get to give out a bunch. And next guy up, Greg DeCruz, Kevin Carberry. I was just talking to my cousin about this. He's a big Giants fan. They're just talking about all the things that have gone wrong. And, talking about the offensive line. They've invested so many draft picks on the offensive line. It's not like they've ignored it. But, man, it just hasn't worked out. And then you get Kevin Carberry, who early on in the game loses his right tackle in Luke Goedeke. Knowing going into the game, you've got your center at left tackle, your left guard at center, and a guy that you have to elevate from the practice squad at left guard. And then Goedeke goes out, and here comes Charlie Heck. Charlie Heck on that one touchdown. I mean, could he have been called for a trip? Maybe 2 minutes in the box for you, but it is what it is. They didn't call it. I thought the job that Kevin Carberry has done since he's been here with the Buccaneers has been exemplary. Phenomenal. The way that he's been able to help these guys. Listen, it's not going to be pretty. Naturally, it's not going to be, what you think it's going to be, especially when Tristan's not back yet. But the job that this guy has done with these offensive linemen has been insane. Congratulations to Carberry. And I know that was one of the guys that were wondering, is he, whether it's this year or in the years in the future, will he ever go to Liam Cohen and play Jacksonville? No, keep him here. We need that guy. What a beast. And I'm going to stay kind of in that coaching realm, and I'm going to go with Josh Grizzard. I asked Josh Grizzard yesterday on the program to show me that you know more than just the passing game. Great to see Emeka Egbuka get involved, but you look at you look at kind of what has gone on for this team the last the last year and a half. They run the football. They're a problem. They're a problem. And again, we had to say that. We had to see that. We had to see that running game run the ball, like Ian said. And I said between 25 and 30 times. Ian said 30 times. And when you look at the final stats, Bucky and Rachaad ran the ball 27 times. Baker ran it 3. Baker's obviously on scrambles, not design runs. But if you think about it, 27 design runs yesterday. That's a key. That is a key for success. Remember what I said yesterday? Remember what I said? 3 things had to happen for the Buccaneers to win that game. This is why you watch this freaking show. Okay? 3 things had to happen yesterday for the Buccaneers to win this game. They had to run the ball between 25 and 30 times. They couldn't turn the football over. And they had to sack Stroud 3 or more times. Bada bing, bada boom, real sky in the room. How you done? 20-19, Buccaneers win. But Josh Grizzard, bro, you proved to everybody that you know how to call a damn good running game too. That was a wonderful job, and I love that with 9 seconds left on the clock, with timeouts in your pocket, where a lot of other teams are scared to call running plays. Like you saw with Houston on that 4th down, they go all the way down, and then the Buccaneers with a huge 4th down stop. But you just saw how fancy they got, right? They run east-west instead of north-south. Then they try to throw a pass into the end zone to the right on a double move. And then another play where Stroud's rolling out to the left, and there was just nothing there. It's just these teams get too freaking fancy in the red zone. Run the football. Run the football. And you saw tight end in motion to the left, coming back, swing, boom. That wham block that we saw a ton last year from Payne Durham and the crew. Rachaad White from 2 yards out. Buccaneers win. Love it. Jacobian gives his game ball to Baker Mayfield for sure. Hard to disagree with what we saw from Baker yesterday. He just leads by example. And when you watch Baker, that run from Baker on 4th and 10 for a first down in the 4th quarter when the Bucs so desperately needed it is Baker in a nutshell. And I know a lot of you guys will say, no, that's not Baker in a nutshell. This is Baker in a nutshell. Help, I'm in a nutshell. Mike, Chris, Levante, Rachaad, Bucky, help me. Get me out of here. If you know, you know. It's a little Austin Powers. You remember that from back in the day. But that play right there is exactly who Baker Mayfield is. He is that guy where game's on the line. He's going to do whatever it takes. He's not a guy that's just going to run all. Well, he ran 3 times yesterday. And that was the biggest one. Unbelievable. The game is on the line. And he just has a way to he's just so elusive in the pocket. And then he makes that move, gets down the field, flip ass over tea kettle. Like, it's amazing, man. He's so freaking inspirational. He really is one of the best leaders I think we've seen in Tampa Bay sports in the history. He wills his team to victory. And he's not some 6'5", 6 guy, that was carved out of granite, or he's an everyman. So blessed to have Baker here. Greg DeCruz, only Cody Mauch was in his natural position, and Michael Jordan came out of retirement for the Bulls. When he come back like Jordan, win the 4-5, he should go with Deion Jones and ask him to switch. But yeah, Cody Mauch was limping out there too, boy. He was not feeling great, but he hung in there. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Pantry, same thing. Lady Evil, Carberry. Benny got it. Josh Grizzard. The blocking Rachaad White is elite as a running back. Listen, here's the other thing too. I noticed this last night. Bucky Irvin did his thing last night in pass protection too. And I know Baker got sacked 4 times. I wasn't worried about Baker getting sacked. The big thing with me is limit it to like that, 3, 4, 5. Just limit it, right? And make sure that it's not a strip sack. Make sure it's not one of those things where it's putting you so far behind the chains, it's kind of screwing it. Just if it's on 3rd down and long, whatever, right? You got to punt anyway. I just thought it was like manageable, takeable sacks. Like Baker's fumble didn't even come on a sack, right? Isn't that crazy? So shout out to Bucky Irving because what he did in pass protection, really, really good. David Terry, Baker gets the ball, in my opinion. Hard to go against that. Rachaad White must be extended. Here's the thing. I don't know necessarily what happens with Rachaad White next year. Enjoy it this year. But if you are Rachaad White, do you possibly go to a different spot and think that you can be the number 1 guy? You never know what's important to these guys. Does he feel a little bit like, I don't want to say disrespected, but maybe a little bit forgotten because of all the love for Bucky last year? Maybe. Does he have the same mindset of a guy like Jamel Dean going, damn, man, I don't want to leave this? Because I feel like the best thing for Bucky and Rachaad is to play together. Who cares? I mean, right? They may, right? They have to make that decision. But if you look at it last night, Bucky has 17 carries. Rachaad gets 10 carries. I mean, damn, man, you're still a huge part of this team. And you were the guy, Rachaad, that was in there at the end of the game. You were the guy that scored the game-winning touchdown. So it wasn't like, and we see this in another situation where it's like, oh, well, you got to put the 1 out there. Nah, man. Ride the hot hand. Ride the guy that's, a little bit more of the bruiser. I love it. I hope he doesn't go anywhere. But it's his decision, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went somewhere else. Shout out to Todd Bowles for his clock management and the timeout calls. Excellence. I mean, what more could you – I don't quite understand the people that are still, like, not a fan of Todd Bowles. All the things that he hasn't been able to do well, he's improved on. Or he's brought people in that can help him with that. So for a dude like him who had trouble with the clock, right? Now you're bringing somebody in. It's much better. This team is not wavered. This team always believes in itself. And you just look at the chemistry that they have. That win last night is a win for a team that looks like they're ready to take that next step. That Bucs team, and I get it. People say, oh, it's the competition, blah, blah. Listen, the Bucs suck in primetime games. They're terrible in primetime games. They even admitted it. And they could have lost that game last night. That's a damn good defense, and in my opinion, a very well-coached team. You lost there a couple years ago. The fact that they did what they did, shorthanded, going on the road, in prime time, they had so many excuses and reasons to not win that game, and they found a way. And I told you yesterday, if the Buccaneers, just like I said with USF in the opener against Boise State, if USF wants to be taken for real, you got to win that game against Boise State. Florida, Miami, a different ball. You got to win that first game. You got to be a fringe 25 team. Obviously, circumstances are different with the Buccaneers. A division title is not good enough. Sorry. But in order for you to get those top seeds, in order for you to get that home field advantage in order for you to be able to put yourself in a position to have a long postseason run, those are the games you got to win. Those are the games against Houston, a team that plays much better at home. You know they're well coached. Like that was a prove it type game last night for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, instead of just looking at the division, you look at the NFC as a whole. Green Bay's 2-0. The Bucs are 2-0. The Eagles are 2-0. Niners, Cardinals, Rams, 2-0. I like what I've seen from the Buccaneers. Listen, they're 2-0, and their point differential is +4. Does anybody give a shit? Do you? Remember all those people that care so much about run differential? Doesn't mean a damn thing. You never see Charlie Heck and Napoleon Dynamite in the same room at the same time. #conspiracy. Preface, I'm not hating Baker got lucky that Rachaad White fell on the ball and that the Texas DBs can't catch interceptions through 2 games. Baker has been living dangerously. I mean, you can say that about any quarterback in the league. I mean, it just happens, man. It happens. That's just the thing with Baker. He's going to be aggressive, and you have to take the interceptions with the long passes for the touchdowns. Fire those cannons. Our guy Robert Cochran from up there in OKC. We have a kicker and punter issue. We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes. Behave, baby. I think comments are going slow right now. There we go. A little bit slow here. Baker hobbled and thugged it out. He certainly did, buddy. Certainly did. Maybe it's because I'm so behind on these comments, man. I love it. The Chan says, okay, I'm rethinking things. Remember when Baker tripped and fell down and got up and wanted all the smoke with the person who did? Yeah, it was CJ Gardner-Johnson. I love that. I love that. I like this too, Dolan. Bucky is the opener. Rachaad is the closer. Who wants some peanuts? I don't have any. But that's the way it goes. Nathan Elliott, great point here. Rachaad and Bucky were supporting each other throughout the game. They showed the two of them giving each other fist bumps and high fives every time they replaced each other in between plays. The rapport between those guys is fantastic. And again, no matter how much it says about just them in particular, I mean, it's the culture. It's such an overblown, overused word in sports, but the Buccaneers culture is at an all-time high. It's never been as good as it is right now. Never. Ever, ever, ever. Not when Brady was here. Brady started it, and it was almost like everybody was on their best behavior. Their culture isn't, it's almost like the Buccaneers were in an honors class, right? With a college professor that was teaching a high school class. A bunch of high school sophomores. High school sophomores had a college professor for their top honors class. And they were on their P's and Q's, and they did great on the final exam. Well, now the college professor is back out of high school, and now this group, they're the seniors. It's the senior class. Is the senior class the same with a new teacher? Maybe they have a substitute teacher. No, they're the same. They're the same. It's because the culture is so good there that even though the college professor is gone now, they're still doing their thing. They're still on their P's and Q's. They're still paying attention. I love it. I love it. I'm a 4th-year senior. High school sophomore football, AK the Dakota. There you go, buddy. Brady was revered. Baker you party with. Yeah, you know. But you cannot lose to the Jets. I know a lot of you guys are saying that too. Cannot lose to the Jets. And we obviously know what has gone on with them. Probably seeing a backup quarterback in Tyrod Taylor. Could we see Tommy DeVito? You never know. Guys, make sure you're following me on all social media platforms. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. I appreciate you all very, very much. Kill that like button if you can, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. I don't care where you're at. Hit that like button for me. All right, so it wasn't all pretty. It wasn't all pretty. So now's the time for you guys to leave your comments there, or if you want to call in. What gave you concern last night? What gave you concern? There you go. There's the link right there. If you guys want to join in via your phone or your laptop, come on in. Just don't let the Jets game be a trap game. Approach every opponent like they're undefeated. Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year. 2-0, week 3, playing against the Broncos, rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. They came up short. Can't do that against the Jets. Not at all. Jay, are you going to see the Rays and the Bucs next Sunday? No, I'm not going to the Rays. Concerns, special teams was awful. Yes. So, I mean, think about it like this, guys. Hold on one second. Okay. Think about it like this. The special teams are certainly my one of my biggest concerns. Excuse me, late night. Todd Bowles says, hey, I have no concerns. I have no concerns about the special teams, about the kicking game, about the punting game. And then yesterday, and listen, we'll start with the punt that got blocked. You saw it right before then on the last punt that they had that they almost got there. And listen, I get it. I get it. When you're a punter and you got to take your time and you're not trying to do too much, but my guy, Riley Dixon, like, don't you know that they're getting closer and closer to blocking your shit? And then the last one that he punted, the last one was a good one, but the fourth one, the one that got blocked, it's like, dude, you didn't realize on punt 3 that they almost got home? He was still like, la-di-da-di-da, I'm going to take my sweet-ass time. And then it gets blocked. And I'm just like, dude, what is going on? Have a little bit of a sense of urgency there. But as bad as he was, Chase McLaughlin is an issue. It is an issue. And I'm not just saying this because he's my fantasy freaking kicker. Come on, Chase. The hell are you doing? Another field goal. An easy, 38-yarder? Come on, bro. This is one of the best and most accurate kickers in team history. And now it's like he's one more bad game away from the Bucs having to bring in another kicker. You can't like the margin of error is so fine. You need to win these games. You need to win 1 point. I mean, you won this game by 1 point. You won last week by 3 points. Like, dude, you got to get your head out of your ass and start doing the job right. Both these guys. Not good enough at all. Come on, Chase. And then maybe you get young Wei Koo out here. How funny would that be if you brought in Koo as the kicker? And then he just balls out for the Bucs. Kind of like the reverse Matt Bryan. That'd be cool. But let's just keep him around until Nico Grammatica comes out, and then he can be the kicker for the next 20 years. How about that? I'm down with that. Also, let's start with the how about the injuries? And we still haven't heard because we know they're getting MRIs later on today. But Calijah Kancey and Luke Goedeke did not look good. Did not look good. Now, from what we're hearing, Luke Goedeke shouldn't be like end of the season. But Ian and I were talking about this last night. You've never heard of a minor pec injury. Never heard of it. Ever. It's never been like, a partially strained pec or a bruised pec. It's always torn. A lot of people just don't want to say the quiet part out loud. And we get that because we got to wait for the MRI. But not looking good for Calijah Kancey. Not looking good. So what does that mean? You're going to see more Logan Hall. You're going to see more Elijah Roberts, more Greg Gaines. Listen, I'm surprised nobody said Greg Gaines because Greg Gaines played a really good game last night. Looked really good last night. And he's just one of those guys, man. Greg Gaines in his entire career has been around Aaron Donald and Vita Vea. So he's practicing and working with the best. So no issues there whatsoever. But I'd be very surprised if Calijah Kancey wasn't done for the year. That sucks. I thought he really started the game strong, and you need to see that from him because I'm still one of those guys that I need to see more. So we're hoping that it's not as bad as initially thought, but my guess is that Goedeke dealing with that ankle out for probably like 2-3 weeks, maybe. But if I had to bet money at it, I say Calijah Kancey might be done for the year. We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. I really pray that I'm wrong. Another thing. Listen, I don't want to keep harping on this guy, but I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. What's the deal with Yaya Diaby, bro? What's the deal with this guy? No quarterback hits. You had 3 sacks last night. Greg Gaines had a sack. Roberts was in there sharing a sack with Levante David. I just, that's the game that you need to see something from him. I don't know, man. I mean, you see Hassan Reddick, and I wonder if it's because sometimes you see these guys dropping into coverage because Bowles is crazy like that. Bowles is crazy. He has his like outside linebackers dropping into coverage. He's got Vita dropping into coverage. Like he's wild like that. But I mean, enough with the talk about the pressures. No QB hits last night from Yaya. Everybody pressure this, pressure that, pressure these nuts. How about that? My God. Come on, Yaya. Come on, man. I don't get it, man. I really don't understand. The pass rush on the outside with the 4-man rush, I don't see it. I don't see it. Pissing me off. Another thing that I don't like is it's so funny how you hear these narratives before the season and people say, oh, well, he looked good and he made all these plays in camp. Making plays in camp means absolutely nothing. Nothing. What is the deal with Servassier Dennis? Everybody and their mother said, well, I don't know if he's going to be as physical in the running game, and I don't know like what he can do as far as helping with the blitz, but man, he can sure cover. Who says that? That's not what I've seen the last 2 games. Do you guys think Servassier Dennis can cover? Does it look like that dude can cover in space right now? And it's always going to be, well, it was Bijan and it was this guy and this guy. I don't want to hear excuses. Great players make great plays against other great players. I'm concerned. Color me concerned when it comes to Servassier Dennis. Is it in there? Possibly. He did miss all of last season. Do I think he's a bust? Do I think he sucks? No. But what he's put on tape so far, when it comes to coverage, has not been great. With that being said, the dude sticks his nose right in there. The blitz yesterday, I mean, he was sticking his nose right in there for the running game. I was like, okay. But it's just so weird how everybody has they swear that a guy is a certain way, and it's the complete opposite. And I don't get that. I don't get that when it comes to football coverage. Because, people may like drag me for football because like I don't just cover football and I just don't watch football, so they think my knowledge is less than the rest, which I think is fucking bullshit. But like you focus on football all the time and you still get these assessments wrong. I don't understand that. You guys know how close I cover hockey, as close as anybody in this city. If I'm sitting there saying like this guy is a great face-off guy and he's 46% in the dot, I kind of look like an idiot, right? If I sit there and go, this guy's great on the power play and he doesn't even play on the power play and he's a penalty kill guy, like where would my credibility go? In the dump, in the toilet. But we have so many Johnny-come-latelys out here and everybody that like covers football, and you're just so wrong with your assessments over and over and over again. But it's football, and there's so many freaking opinions that it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. people are like, oh, Sarase Dennis made all these great plays in camp. Like, okay, doesn't mean anything. And yeah, he made some plays. I was there. But it wasn't like, wow, Sarase Dennis. Like, it wasn't like, wow, Mike Evans, when we saw Mike Evans doing his thing. He's got to be better, man. He's got to be better. So when I look at some of the negative things to this team, like, there's not a ton. There really isn't. But some of those, oof, real bad. Jacobian says that Sarase looked absolutely terrible in coverage. He's been caught in la-la land multiple times, and that could not happen. Nathan Elliott, as far as Kancey, a pec is a significant injury that often requires surgery and 3 to 4 months of recovery. Season-ending injury for most players, especially for DLBs who are more prone to those tears. Yeah, no doubt about it. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then, we have to mention Levante, of course. Levante got tore up a little bit on I think it was to Schultz, where he was going to the sideline, cut back the other way. Levante couldn't make the tackle, and then the dropped interception. I mean, those are the things that you got to make those little plays. The great thing about this Buccaneers win is that they've been able to win despite making certain little mistakes that could come back to haunt them if they continue. They don't clean it up. Now, I like that. I like that you have the ability to be able to come back and to figure it out. But if you want to be a team that's standing at the end, then there you go. Let's see. I was just seeing something online here, guys. Bear with me real quick. Bear with your guy. Shit. There you go. I'm like brain cramp real quick. Hold on. Trying to get people to join in on the show because the news I just heard. Dave Velasquez, bro, you are on it, dude. You are on it. That's why I love our viewers here. All right, guys. You're not going to want to hear this. We're not going to want to hear this or see this. My swooshes tell me. There you go. Unfortunately, this is what we got from Adam Schefter. Sources tell Adam Schefter, ESPN insider, Buccaneers, Calijah Kancey, their 2023 first-round pick, who had 11.5 sacks during his first 2 NFL seasons, is feared to have torn his pec during Monday night's win in Houston. If tests confirm it, he will be out for the season. Now, you're not going to put something out there like that if you're Adam Schefter, if it's not a torn pec. I appreciate you, Dave Velasquez, chiming in here and helping us out. Tough, man. Tough. This is a guy that really, I mean, you saw it last night in the beginning of the game. Calijah Kancey he was a man on a mission. And unfortunately, you saw that injury last night. And he's kind of rushing the passer with Stroud in the end zone. And he just, like, his left arm was just hanging. It was just hanging there. And I said it before, something that Ian and I were discussing, like, there's no such thing really as a minor pec injury. It's just one of those things where if it's torn, it's torn. And if have you guys ever seen Cody Rhodes from the WWE when he was in the match, the Hell in the Cell with Cody Rhodes? Dude, this is what happens to your pec. This guy actually wrestled with this. Okay, here, I want you guys to see this. If you never see what a torn pec is, what it does to you. There you go. Whew. Cody actually wrestled. Nobody knew. He like took off the video. I mean, he took off his jacket. Look at that shit, man. My God. Random stuff. Look at that. My God. And he went through the entire match. What a beast. But you look at it right there. That's what Calijah is going to be feeling. So for him, I mean, he wrestled that match because he looked at the thing and he said, like, well, you can't, possibly hurt it anymore. Like, it is what it is. Like, if it's torn, it's torn. Same thing with Calijah. Like, you get into a situation where if it's torn, it's torn. And your heart goes out for the kid, because this was going to be that year, I think, when a lot of people were hoping that he was going to put it all together. But the most important ability is availability. And I'm not willing to say, like, I know Dave's bringing this up. It's not a bad, I mean, I get what you're saying. Kancey hasn't had a healthy season since day one. Will this unfortunately make him an injury bust? I mean, when you say bust, it's unfair. When you say injury bust, I mean, injury prone. Maybe I wouldn't say injury bust, maybe injury prone. Your heart goes out for the kid. It really does. Because you know that at 24 years young, I mean, he's still young, dude. He's still young. But you look at, what he's been able to do. Played 14 games in 23, 12 in 24, 2 in 2025 here. Probably no more for the rest of the year. So your heart goes out to the kid. It really does. 11 and a half sacks through 26 games, none so far this year. But if what Adam Schefter is saying is true, and again, you're not going to put something else out here like this. If it's not true. So sucks, brother. Sucks, no doubt. Greg the Crew, somebody check on Watson and see what his weight is. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, because the thing is, I remember this too. McCoy had 3 injury plague season, I believe, tore his bicep. Agreed. So for Calijah, like, what does his injury mean out for the year? It just means that other guys have to step up. You're going to see a lot more. Again, I said this before. You're going to see a lot more of Logan Hall. You're going to see a lot more of Elijah Roberts. He's a guy that has to step up. And I've liked what I've seen from him. I really have. This kid, half of a sack last night. We know how good he was at SMU. He's going to need to step forward again. So you look at this injury for Calijah Kancey. You look at the injury for David Walker as well. And, do the Buccaneers go out and sign a veteran? It's crazy that Davion Clowney just got signed by the Cowboys. They just sign whatever pass rusher they can. But do you get an interior defensive lineman, bring somebody in to kind of rotate in a little bit to take some of the heat off of Vita and Greg Gaines? Because Vita doesn't play all the snaps now. They're very smart with Vita's pitch count, no doubt. So do you want to get another? You got to get another guy to rotate in. Do you call up one of the guys that you've seen the last couple of years, the Brewers of the world and guys like that? Adam Gotsis, maybe. Dolan, he's not a bust, but definitely he's injury prone, but he's not the centerpiece of that defensive line. Buccaneers have to continue to throw numbers at that unit. I don't disagree with that at all. But maybe this is one of those years where Jason Light trades for a defensive tackle. He doesn't usually do that because he loves his draft picks, but I just wonder if one of these years Jason trades a late, like a 6th or a 7th. I don't know if Jason will ever be that guy who's going to trade a 2nd or a 3rd or a 4th round pick. I don't know if he's ever going to be that guy, just because he does so well at bringing those guys in. But does he go out and get a D tackle somewhere? Greg says call the Giants. Yeah, they're not trading Dexter Lawrence. 6'7". Do they trade for Dexter Lawrence? They're not getting rid of him. He's their best player. Abdul Carter, no. Brian Burns, no. Kayvon Thibodeau, maybe. Maybe he can help him in more ways than one. But again, he's their former first-round pick. Are they going to trade him for anything less than a 4th rounder? Probably not. They're going to want a 2nd rounder, 3rd rounder. I just don't see them doing that. I just don't see them doing that at all. Your thoughts on the injury to Calijah Kancey and where the Buccaneers go from here? Leave them there at the bottom of the screen. Of course, if you want to join in on the conversation, here is the link for you. Barati. Right there, man. StreamYard.com/QA645YE7YA. Nathan Elliott. Bucs are about to see who is out there and is available. Yeah, they do that. They do that. And I was listening to the post-game show last night where TJ Reeves was talking to Coach Todd Bowles walking off the field, and he was asking about the injury, and he said he was such a status quo answer. It was like too soon to tell, needed further evaluation. It was just such like a cliche answer. I was like, oh, Todd's practiced that one. Todd has practiced that one. But yeah, no good news when it comes to Calijah Kancey. He's done, in my opinion. I told you even before we got that tweet from Adam Schefter that there's no such thing as a short pec injury or, just a minor pec injury. He's done so for the season. But yeah, just the way it goes. Dave saying Hendrickson would be nice right about now. Yeah, he could, but still too much money. Here's something that I don't hate. Bucs are going to give Will the Instigator Golston a call. He's actually been he's actually been coaching here locally. Ian actually coached against him last weekend. But I wouldn't like that. Maybe you bring back Will Golston. I wouldn't hate that. Generic automated responses like I get when I text DAE. That's funny. The Nacho would be nice too, but he got hell over. But yeah, good for him. Elijah Roberts going to be a big part of this season. I would like Will Golston. Come back, Adam, because remember, you're not going to go out there and you're going to get a guy that's going to be, a $10 million guy. You're probably not going to go out there and get a starter. You're just going to elevate who you have, Logan Hall and Elijah Roberts, but you need to be able to get those guys that are going to come in after him, like a Greg Gaines, right? Like a Will Golston. I think that'd be, I don't think that'd be the worst thing in the world. Guys, I'd like to stop the show real quick. And my guy, Will. The best umpire in the city of Tampa, my guy, Big Will Hawkins. Let's clap it up for Will, everybody. Happy birthday, my dear friend. September. Oh, it's September 20th. Oh, come on, man. Today's September 16th. You got me and the people freaking clapping for you, Will. Well, happy early birthday, my guy, Will Hawkins. We love you, man. Thank you, somebody. Miss you too, my man. Hope you are well. Hope your family is well. Sending you a ton of love and respect. Happy birthday to our guy, Will Hawkins. Greg DeCruz, can Ian play DT? Probably has a few reps. No, sir. You should have seen him walking out of the cafe last night. It was not good. Some of the free agents, Calais Campbell's on the Cardinals, my guy. Jaron Reed, Milton Williams, Jose Odigizua, BJ Hill. These guys, where'd you get this list? These guys are on teams. Poona Ford is already. Why are you putting that on there, man? Anybody out there? You crazy. Don't be taking them claps back, Jake. We love you, Will. Happy birthday on the 20th, my friend. Good stuff as always, buddy. All right. And Jordan Schultz put it out there. Calijah Kancey will miss the rest of the season with a pec injury suffered on Monday. Huge piece of Tampa's defense. I mean, yes, he is a good piece of that defense, but his injury luck just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Poor guy. He busted his ass this year to be healthy. Damn. Sucks. Not good. What did head coach Todd Bowles have to say? I know a lot of people were wondering. Todd Bowles spoke the day after. And, let me read some of that stuff for you guys here. There we go. Talking about, some people were wondering if Servase Dennis got benched at the end of the game or it was just a new unique package and what he thought of his play. We were speaking about that. Servase Dennis, what's the deal? Todd Bowles said, no, we did not bench Servase at the end of the game. He didn't play bad. There was miscommunication on the one. That was a check down that involved quite a few people as he gets his footing down and plays. We have full confidence in him that he'll play better and he'll be fine. a lot of the one thing that I love about, even if a guy makes mistakes, okay, even if a guy makes mistakes, he's never going to throw that guy under the bus. He's always going to blame it on miscommunication, and he's always going to pass the blame around to everybody so that they can share it. It's not just on one guy. So that's something with Todd, man. He's that guy. He's that guy. I appreciate that. I think it's what a real leader does. Also, asking about Baker Mayfield and his running. Are you concerned about Baker? He goes, my level of concern is fine. Baker runs when he has to. He doesn't just run to run. He runs when he has to. He runs when he sees something there, and we're comfortable with that. We try to work on sliding here and there, but sometimes you don't know if you've got the first down or not. He's been playing that way his entire life. We like him to be careful, but we're comfortable with him getting out of the pocket. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Tristan Wirfs practiced last week. He didn't have any soreness. It was just good getting him out there, getting his feet wet for the first time. Hopefully he's able to do more this week, and we'll reevaluate him at the end of the week. Don't be surprised. Tristan Wirfs is in there Sunday against the Jets. Check this out. All right, so here. On preserving timeouts to be able to use them late in the game on offense. That was one thing that people have just been absolutely destroying. Oh, shit. Okay. Here we go. Adam Schefter. Test confirmed. Bucs DT Calijah Kancey Torres Pec. And now he is scheduled to undergo season-ending surgery Friday per sources. Oh, man. Sucks, dude. Freaking sucks. Hold on, guys. So I'm having to copy and paste stuff. It looks so funny. Wow, man. This sucks for Calijah. Confirmed. Just sad, man. You know, you train all off season, right? And what's up, Chris Cole and Sergio? Richie P. Clancy is good, don't get me wrong, but what kind of numbers are we replacing? They may open up an opportunity for Elijah Roberts. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. But what that needs to be said, and no, I don't think Sue's coming back. It's not always so much about like replacing the numbers, because what happens is it always goes down to not every fifth round pick would be Hardy Nickerson. Savasi isn't killing it. Again, he was a fifth round. Yeah, but I mean, for me, I don't look at draft status. That shit don't mean nothing to me. That's gone. I don't care what round you got drafted in. Can you contribute now? I'm a fan, right? I'm a media guy. I'm not caring about draft value. That doesn't mean anything to me. Can you play or can you not play? Christian Izzy is a guy who could play on my team any day. He didn't get drafted at all. But as far as what you had to say there, leave Wirfs out until the Eagles. Janet's like, take the time, please. But I want to get to our guy, Richie. What's up, pal? Clancy is good, don't get me wrong, but what kind of numbers are we replacing? It may open up an opportunity. You're right. And his numbers he may be able to replicate those numbers, duplicate those numbers. But here's the thing. When he goes down, that's the next man up mentality. But that means that he can't play every snap on the D line, that you got to put a guy in his spot, and that guy's got to be able to push, right? The guys ahead of him. So you need just a full complement of players there at that spot. And man, I got to be honest, like I wouldn't be surprised if the Buccaneers go out and get another defensive tackle. They need somebody in there. But it just sucks for Calijah Kancey. You just think about it. I mean, you're a guy that's been busting his ass, right? And you want to prove that you're supposed to be that dude. Former first-round pick. You're one of the smartest players on the team. You have a guy next to you in Vita Vea that's, you work in tandem with. So you're not by yourself, and you look at everybody around you, and the team's getting better. Defense has gotten ridiculed for what they weren't able to do last year. Phenomenal shape, pretty good camp. Come out in the first couple of games. You mean you're playing solid football. And then this happens in just game 2. Oh, it's a heartbreaker. And you wonder too, and it's impossible to tell, but does this have something to do with guys not playing in the preseason? Right? If he was out there and getting, even just a quarter of a rep or a half of a something, does this not happen? I mean, you see so many injuries already in week 2 of the season with J.J. McCarthy out, Joe Burrow out, and Calijah Kancey out. It's just like too much, man. The worst part of the NFL, in my opinion, will always be the injuries. It's too much. Too freaking much. What isn't too much is our guys over at The Honest Hammer. They are the best. They are my number ones, my guys. If you want any type of residential or commercial work done, that's the people that you have to go to. Check them out right here. TheHonestHammer.com. Baby, 813-244-0956 for all your commercial and residential needs. Licensed and insured Florida general contractor. CGC 153-1166. No project too big. No project too small. You want a new custom home? They got you. New commercial construction, kitchen and bathroom remodels, interior and structural renovations. They've got you. I went to the job site a couple of weeks ago, and there it is right there. They built on that first floor like a soccer room for the kids. A soccer room. Legit. Their kids are going to have so much fun there. TheHonestHammer@gmail.com. Again, CGC 153-116, a general contractor company. TheHonestHammer.com. 813-244-0956. Great people, Tampa Bay sports fans just like me and you. Let them know that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. You get a discount. Just unbelievable people. These are the type of people that you want to be able to deal with when you're doing work. And it's on your home, man. You want to be able to live there for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, maybe for the rest of your life. You want to deal with people that you trust. My guy, Russ, and the family over there at Honest Hammer, they are number 1. Love those guys. All right. Richie says it really does suck for Kancey because he really had high hopes of the season. Unfortunately, at some point soon, the Bucs will need to be looking down the road for another defensive tackle. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that, but just kind of the nature of the beast now, buddy. It's tough, man. It's tough. And I kept hearing people say like, oh, well, he's a great player. I wouldn't say he's a great player. He's on his way to being a good player. But my goodness, man, it's just tough. And it's sad because it takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails today, which is a victory Tuesday, and we should be very happy. Greg DeCruz saying they're not going to sugarcoat it, but one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. Yes, it's the next man up mentality. And maybe it's just tough to think that he's going to come back at all this season. Some people will say, well, it happens early in the year, but it's such a long recovery process from a torn pec. You're talking 7-8 months usually, especially at that position when you're constantly battling with guys. I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. I would count on other guys stepping up and coming back. We'll still see what happens with Luke Goedeke, Tristan Wirfs, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan. Got to get those guys back. And performing at a high level. And what we saw yesterday, that's the great thing about this Buccaneers win. It wasn't the best. It doesn't have to be. If that's one thing that we've learned over the years, we had this discussion, Ian and I, yesterday on our show here, we're having this conversation about Tom Brady and what quarterbacks do and how they push their team. And, I don't know because I don't cover Baltimore and Buffalo that close. And I know they're MVPs because they're so ridiculously talented. But, you see Baker talking to everybody. You see Baker dapping up with the defense. You just see, he is a guy that he's just so fired up. And he's not going to run as much as I was going to say Jamar. And I was thinking about Demar, the Drake and Will Ferrell thing from back in the day with DeMar DeRozan. Jamar. Baker's not going to run ever as much as Lamar and Josh Allen. But when he does, it's just it lifts people up. It really gets them out of their seats. And sometimes when you do things and they're uncharacteristic, or maybe just something you don't do a lot, I think it means a lot. Those 3 runs are so impactful. especially as a Buccaneer fan. It's one thing if you have a bunch of runs and you kind of get used to it a little bit and you go, all right, that one's for 20, that one's for 1. But when Baker runs all 3 of those times, like, man, you just jump out of your seats. It's incredible. It's incredible. There was a lot to like from that Buccaneers game last night. There really was. We went through some of the negatives, but let's finish on a high note with some of the positives because, trying to be optimistic around here. 20-19 win over the Houston Texans after a 23-20 victory in week 1 over those stinking Atlanta Falcons. Let's see. There we go. Hold on. All right, so it's all good. Cannon's got to keep firing. The cavalry is coming. Got that right. We will probably see more run blitzes now. Let Dennis do that, and let's get Izzy into play. If the Bucs had an even competent outside pass rush, then this injury wouldn't be catastrophic. But it is what it is, man. It really is what it is. So, unfortunately, that was a tough one, man. And Rick Stroud is confirming it here. Bucs have learned through tests that Calijah Kancey torn pec, missed the remainder of the season. And we'll see if the Buccaneers address it now. That's going to be a hot topic of conversation today. I think we said what we had to say on that. But I think there's a lot of good from this when it comes to these games, especially these first 2, the way that the Buccaneers have been able to just not play their best and still come away with a victory. Yeah, Bucky, you have Rachaad. You have Emeka Egbuka. Baker, the pit bull of quarterbacks. There's a lot of injuries this season since 2020 because they can't practice in pads. I think a lot of it goes into it. Not practicing in pads, not having as many guys playing in the preseason or not for as long in the preseason. It sucks, man. It sucks. But just the way it goes. You're gonna have to make a change, right? You got to do it. Let me see. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to see. There we go. The Buccaneers, their first season, 1976, right? And I told you guys we're going to go for 76 minutes today, an hour and 16. So we got about 9 minutes left on the program. So any questions that you have, let me know. I'll answer them before we rip it off for today. Look at Louis. I have to say on a positive note, that was probably Coach Tobble's best performance adjusted when he needed, especially on defense. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. All the bowl slander, that needs to stop because the guy has been incredible. He's been so freaking good. And he's gotten better and he's gotten more open-minded. And you look at this defense and last night, like you look at it and you go like, man, if they didn't get stuck with some crappy field position outside of that first touchdown, they're cooking. If you give up one big touchdown a week, you're going to be able to deal with that, right? Who on the Jets scares you, Greg DeCruz wants to know. Breece Hall can run the football. Garrett Wilson. If Tyrod Taylor's in there for Justin Fields, I'm not concerned. You have Sauce Gardner. You have a couple of good linebackers there. Obviously, Quinn Williams there and defensive tackle. But this is the next challenge. This is the next challenge for the Buccaneers. You saw what happened last year. You want to see progression from your team. Last year, you're 2-0. You have a home game. You're playing against the Denver Broncos. What happens? We saw it last year, right? When you look at the Buccaneers schedule last season, you guys were there. You were with me. That 2024 season, week 1, a win over Washington, 37-20. Remember? At home, Jaden Daniels' first game. Week 2, you go to Detroit. You give up the booty when it comes to how many sacks you gave up to Aiden Hutchinson, but you still win that game 20-16, and then you lay an absolute egg against Denver and lose 26-7. So crazy how the schedule's so similar. You have a tough game week 2 on the road, week 3 come home, and then week 4 against Philadelphia at home again. It's crazy how 2025 can mirror 2024. Atlanta, Houston, Jets, Eagles. And then you go to Seattle to play the Seahawks, and then home to play San Francisco, and then on the road to Detroit and New Orleans. So in the schedule, it is what it is. I like it down the stretch even more now when you got Carolina, Miami, Carolina. I mean, think about it. Your last 5 games are New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Miami, and Carolina. The Buccaneers should be finished in this season on a high note. Louis, I was just saying, people were talking about that. Do you visit the trade market? Maybe. Do you give Will Golston a call? Get him back in the fold? I don't know if you're going to go out and trade for a big-time guy. I don't think if you're going to go out there and, have a, trade a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick for a Kayvon Thibodeau or anything like that. I don't think that happens. I think they trust and believe in the guys that they have. If it's a later pick, maybe a 6th or 7th-round pick, maybe. But I think you have more of a chance of elevating some of the guys off the practice squad, or maybe bringing back a veteran like Will Golston. It's kind of funny how certain positions are like that, right? When it comes to defensive tackle, when it comes to, you can't always find guys like that. But then you have a bunch of guys like a linebacker, a bunch of guys at corner, guys at safety, wide receiver. It's crazy how different spots for different teams you have an influx of guys. Greg, I'm there for those 3 straight home games, so that's 3 W's right there. Bring in my Costa Rican luck. Greg DeCruz, buddy. 3 games. Check it out. Those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully they go on a nice long win streak for you. And the Buccaneers are going to be rolling. I'm excited about the rest of the season of this team, even though dealing with injuries. And listen, unfortunately, injuries are part of the game. There's other teams that are going to be dealing with the injuries as well. But, yeah, nature of the beast. Rachaad White again, man. I don't want to end this show without giving love to Rachaad White, because you think about it, when you're seeing players in the National Football League and you're seeing positions won and lost, and you're seeing a guy that was a starter, and then now Bucky Irving comes in and everybody loves Bucky, and Rachaad didn't pout. Rachaad didn't bitch. He didn't moan. He didn't request a trade. You know, a lot of people out there wanted them to trade, wanted them to get traded. I told you from the beginning, not trading that guy. And look at what he was able to do last night. A huge reason why the Buccaneers were able to win that game. And again, it wasn't just him scoring the final touchdown. Jumping on that fumble was huge. It was the 1-2. And Bradley Chubb, the Buccaneers aren't that team, guys. They're just not that team. They're not usually that team that's going to go out there and do that. I know they did it with JPP years ago. But you don't need an outside linebacker as much as you need a D tackle. So I think that's the big thing. Iron sharpens iron. The best thing for Rachaad White was Bucky coming. His style has changed. No hesitation in the hole. Yeah, because I like that, because he doesn't have time. Just go out there and do your thing. We lost Vay in 2020, still won the Super Bowl. Don't give up hope. I will be at every home game. Nathan Elliott, man, we know you will be. All right, guys, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I am everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. And make sure that you, check out my friends over at Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, 813-244-0956. Scan that QR code for all your commercial and residential needs. It's Tuesday, so we got shows tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. So it'll be a Victory Monday. Victory Wednesday, Victory Thursday, and Victory Friday as well. Nothing but football today, baby. All Bucs all day long. This is how we roll on the program. We'll probably talk a little bit raises, a little lightning. I saw there was some lightning news about where you can watch the games. They're going to be a lot more accessible, which is a great thing. A big thank you to our guy, Chan, for the super chat. Guys, that's the only way we're going to keep this thing going. More sponsors like Honest Hammer Custom Builders and the super chat like Chan. $1, $2, $5, $10, $20 to my Jamaican brethren. Every single little bit helps. So whatever you guys can do to keep the Jay Recher podcast going, I truly do appreciate it. Again, at Recher on all social media platforms. Ask me one more question. I'll answer one more question before we go because we got 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Who can get the final question into the program? Let's see. Ask me anything. Quick. 5, 4, 3. You got 1 minute to go. Come on. Random question. Ask me the most random question. I'll answer it. Does anybody get asked a question? I think I said goodbye too soon. Everybody just started signing off. Anybody? Oh, man, you guys are losing the opportunity to ask me a little bit of anything. Sign Sue. All right, Nathan. No, don't sign Sue. He's out there giving up. He's out there giving financial advice to people. I think he's done. Favorite Tampa restaurants? I like my guy Alfonso's Pizzeria, man. That's my guy, Marco and Brittany over there on the corner of Bears and Florida. Go check them out. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Recher podcast. Don't be weird, Benny. Don't be weird. Goedeke status, we don't know yet, Serge, but the MRI should be taking place today. So once that happens, the Buccaneers, Schefter, Stroud, the whole crew, they will let you know. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow at noon right here on the Recher podcast. Peace out. I'm gone.